8 minutes to the good lady. The district is represented not from California, not from any other area, such as Nevada, and from California again, that opposes legislation. She represents this area, and we ought to listen to her and why she's for this bill. 8 minutes.
The gentlewoman from Michigan is recognized for 8 minutes.
I thank the gentleman, my distinguished colleague from Alaska, for yielding in his complimentary remarks. Mr. Speaker, this issue has been waiting for a congressional vote for many, many years, but not as long as our nation's history of sometimes mistreating Native Americans. This case settles a land claim from over 100 years ago at a time when our country treated Native Americans terribly, and when the state of Michigan, as has been said, literally stole this land from the Indians. And throughout the decades that followed, Native Americans sought justice, and finally former Michigan Governor John Engler negotiated a settlement that was agreed to by everyone involved. And let me just read briefly a section from his letter. As governor of Michigan, it was my duty to negotiate the land settlement agreements between the state of Michigan and Bay Mills and the Sioux tribe in 2002. And I am proud that every concerned party involved in this settlement supports this agreement. This is a true example of a state and the tribes promoting cooperation rather than conflict. This land claim settlement is unique to Michigan, and it does not impact any other congressional district other than the 3 congressional districts of the people who are supporting it here who have spoken today, as has been mentioned. That is myself and Mr. Stupek and Mr. Dingell. And I would point out that in a time of hyper-partisanship, this is a wonderful example, I believe, of bipartisanship. And I would note that much of the opposition to this bill comes from members of Congress who already have gaming in their districts, districts like Las Vegas or the city of Detroit, and that their opposition is not based on ideology, but rather that they do not want any honest competition. And I reject this on its face because I believe in the free market and I believe in free market principles. Some have said that this is stuffing a tribal land claim down the throat of a community who doesn't welcome it. Actually, the opposite is true. This legislation is supported by every elected official who represents the city of Port Huron in any capacity at any level of government. As has been mentioned, the former governor, John Engler, the current governor, Jennifer Granholm, both United States senators, myself as in the U.S. House, the state senator, the state representatives, the county commissioners, the entire city council. Additionally, it has the support of civic groups, business groups like the Chamber of Commerce, educational leaders, labor unions like the UAW, and for those that might be concerned about what law enforcement thinks, we have letters here of support from the county sheriff, from the county prosecutor, all the police chiefs, and most importantly, it has the support of the citizens of the city, as evidenced by a citywide referendum vote in support. The opponents of this legislation have said, first of all, that they don't want any competition, therefore they hope this bill will die. And they have said, even though their communities and their districts have economic development, that they need to protect that, and that the citizens, the good Americans of a community like mine, cannot have fairness or economic opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this is un-American, and I would hope that my fair-minded colleagues would reject that out of hand. The opponents of this have also made several untruths, outright untruths about this bill. They say that this bill will set a precedent, and that is false. In fact, in Section 3B of this bill, it states the following. The provisions contained in the settlement of land claim are unique and shall not be considered precedent for any future agreement between the tribe and the state. The opponents also say that this bill will allow for off-reservation gaming. This is also false. In fact, Section 2A2 of the bill states the following. The alternative land shall become part of the community's reservation immediately upon attaining trust status. In fact, this site was not reservation shopping, as Mr. Stupek has pointed out. It was specifically chosen because it is the only community with an international border crossing where there is already casino gaming on one side and not on the U.S. side. They also said that this legislation violates the process under the National Environmental Policy Act.